What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Scooter the Libra here, and you seen the title. I'm going to be talking about responsibilities of love and everything that means, and hopefully if you watch the video all the way through, you gain something from it. It helps you in your relationship and guides you down the right path. But I'm going to try to keep this video as short as possible. If I stir off anytime in this video, I apologize, but I'm trying to make sure that you understand where I'm coming from in this video. I'm sorry that I'm not starting over for that, but in this video, I hope you understand where I'm coming from. I have a few points down I'm gonna try to stick to, and we just gonna go from there. Again, if something on this video, has helped you or caused you to think differently or something, leave a like or comment or share it, and maybe somebody else can gain something from it too. But first point is, I'm gonna just say what a relationship actually is. A relationship is the way in which two or more people are connected. So when you enter into a relationship, typically starting off, two individuals agree to quote unquote date or just be a part of one another. And what I mean by that is you guys agree to court, date, it's all kind of words for it, but just be partners, so to speak. Be able to do this, do that together. Do this, do that. But there's a lot that you don't know going into a relationship, that if a lot of it was up front, you may do things different, you may say things different. But we're gonna keep it on point, and let's just say that a relationship is supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be love. It's supposed to be commitment, and not saying that things will not come up ever, but the relationship is communication, sharing deep feelings, desires, and dreams with that person that you feel like you can't tell those things to. And if you're uncomfortable with sharing certain things with your partner, maybe you should reevaluate your relationship. If you feel like, hey, I probably don't want to tell him that, probably shouldn't tell him this. Open dialogue in a relationship is probably one of the most important things that you can actually have. All right, but on to this next point that I really want to talk about, and this is more so on the responsibilities of love. What is your role? And I'm gonna try to stay on this point as much as possible. Again, I'm sorry if I'm rambling, but ask yourself, fellas, ladies, what is your role in the relationship? Typically speaking, I'm just gonna go off men because I'm not one. I don't know, but typically in the mindset of most men, I assume, is to provide and protect. That is our role. That is our so-called duty, so to speak. That is what we just automatically assume going into the relationship. That's our job. That's our main purpose for being in a relationship: to protect, to provide, and to love you to the best of our ability. I'm gonna just assume, because from history and just whatever else, that the role of a woman is to nurture and to, love and provide basically inside of the home, so to speak. I'm not talking about finances and stuff like that, but just be a caregiver inside of the home. That's, if you want to call it the old school way, but that's the old school blueprint for relationships. Now it's 2022, things have changed. Most ladies hollering at dudes now. I'm gonna keep it real. You see niggas in the club posted up and the girls go holler at them now. Nothing wrong with that. That's just the times we're in. But I'm from a time where it's like, all right, fellas would pump the gas and and pay, and ladies would sit in the car. But now you see women pumping the gas for the niggas. Like, it's a lot of things that have become backwards. And if you're one of the people that aren't part of the solution, then you're part of the problem, and things are just reversed. It's like this whole little, I'm trying to select my words carefully, but gender things that are going on, kind of just causing mayhem in relationships, and what should be in a relationship. But nowadays it's like, who are you to say what, and that is true. Like in your home, in your relationship, whatever you do, whatever your roles are your roles. But just hear me out with what I'm saying. Typically speaking, those are just basics of relationship. Man work, provide, woman take care of everything. That's just how it was, so to speak. And I think we in this new generation has lost sight of it. And more and more women are business minded and have goals and visions, which fellas, don't interfere with that. If your woman want to go out, be a doctor, lawyer, and help, cool. But I feel like a lot of women that are on that type of level successful don't tend to have those long-lasting relationships. I mean, there are statistics out there. I'm not the guy to bring up a whole lot of Google prints and whatever behind me and stuff like that. That's not what I'm here for. But if you feel like I'm wrong, Google those stats of super successful women, especially black women, because again, I'm black, so that I'm more so speaking to a black audience. The statistics of divorce and stuff like that, and being successful, and not just saying successful, but like 6-figure money type successful. But that aside, like if you're a man or woman, just ask yourself, what is your role? How can you better your role? And focus on your individual bringings to the relationship, not what the other person is lacking, but what you're actually bringing to the relationship. And ask yourself, and better yet, ask your partner, what are you looking for from me? You know what I'm saying? And hopefully, they can be straightforward and honest with you, because again, if protection and providing ain't something that your woman wants, then what I just said gonna shift. If nurturing and home balance ain't what the fella wants, then that side gonna shift. But just ask your partner. I feel like a lot of people enter into a relationship just assuming roles that nobody asked them to take on. So that's basically my point for that, to keep a long story short. Next point is gonna be the opposite of that. It's more so what's not your job in a relationship. And I'm gonna be very blunt and specific on this one. Let's just say if you're in these videos, I kind of get certain stuff off my mind at the same time, but it helps, in the long run. I feel like, so if things aren't corrected in the future, I or my partner or whoever's watching this, male or female, will be able to correct certain issues. But anyway, fellas, it's not your job to, and ladies, this is the same thing for you. This is not just a fellas thing. But let's just assume that you're going into relationships, because most people have been in previous relationship. If you're in your mid-20s, 30s, 40s, 9 times out of 10, either you or the partner you get with may have one or more children. That's just the reality of it. Not saying everybody, but if you accept a partner that does have one, this is more so towards you. If you're in a relationship and that partner has a child, male or female, it's not your job, and hear me clearly, it's not your job to take on the responsibilities of the actual parents. It is not. Those are optional. And hear what I'm saying. I'm not saying that you shouldn't do anything, because again, that little person is gonna be a part of whoever side is on life, at least, even after the typical adult age where things, all right, and you 18, you should be doing this and doing that. Prayerfully at that age, things kind of, you go off to college and stuff like that. But let's just say if not. Fellas, ladies, it's not your job to take on the role of a parent. You're entering into the relationship. You're not dating those children. You are dating the parents. So again, yes, things are going to come naturally to where you may want to play, you may want to provide, you may want to discipline with those kids, whatever you feel like, role you want optionally to adopt to help your partner out. Those are optional. You should never be guilt tripped into, you should be doing this, you need to do that, this person needs this. If your partner asks you to do specific things for said child, if you agree to those things, then cool, that nothing's wrong with that. If you feel uncomfortable, or if you're just unwilling to accept those roles, and this is being that this person told you exactly what they're looking for, then if you don't feel comfortable, you do not have to accept those roles. That does not mean you love that individual less, but certain responsibilities are not yours. Certain jobs in that are not yours. And beyond the kids, even when, certain things come up, it's like, okay, let's just say, I'll just say laundry. Ladies, it's not your job to do your guy's laundry. Like, what I mean by homebody and provider is like, you're making sure that the home is clean and things of that nature. Like, but at the end of the day, if you're dating, 9 times out of 10, you are a grown-ass woman and a grown-ass man. If you want to take on those things, which are optional, you have every right to go for it. But if you don't, that does not mean you care for or less love anybody. That does not mean that, and if your partner feels that you don't feel that way or you don't care, then hey, you guys should reevaluate your relationship, communicate on those topics. But again, be blunt about what you're going to do and what you're not going to do when it comes to, your roles and basically your job responsibilities as far as inside and outside of the home. And that way, I think it's a lot of times people won't assume stuff and feel like they're taking on too much. Now, I'm gonna add something on at the end, but I'm trying to stay on point and not make this video too long. After it's not your job, I wrote down, did you agree? So I kind of touched on that a little bit in there. If you did not agree to doing the things that, because again, let me put it back, let me rewind a little bit. If you enter into a relationship and you're committed to, dating a person and having fun, certain things, it feel like you automatically assuming, but you may or may not have to. But there are a lot of things that come out down the road that is like, all right, this is new. How do I adjust? Am I going to take on dealing with that? Am I going to take on dealing with that? And that's why a lot of people end up divorced, because things change, people change, things are discovered and figured out that wasn't initially. It takes time. Sometimes it's more than 1 year, 2 years, 3, 5, 10. It takes time, and things change within those time frames that you did not expect and you may have not initially agreed to handle. But being in a relationship does not obligate you to everything. Even as the individual that feels like they're doing everything, you are not obligated to do those things just because you're a relationship, just because you're a parent. Like certain things, yes, you have to do. You're going to have to do as long as you are a parent. However, I feel like people subject themselves or obligate themselves to extra, so to speak, because again, it doesn't have to be as complicated as sometimes it is in relationships. And I'm gonna just leave that at that. All right, so after did you agree, I have understand versus assume. This is big, and I mentioned it in my previous videos. Like, understanding comes from communication. Like, some things about your partner you're gonna just know but verify at the same time. And it's more so if you're assuming things went wrong, ask, hey, how was your day, and things like that. But on the flip side of that, ladies, fellas, if you've had a bad day, please hear me out. If you've had a bad day, if you can't come to this person with that bad day, then again, reevaluate your relationship. You should be able to say, yes, this bothered me today. Yes, this is, I don't care if it was something you had to do at home, work, school, or whether it was individuals, your parents, your children, your co-workers, whatever, on any side. You should be able to come to that one person and be like, hey, this bothered me. That person bothered me. On both sides, you should be able to do that. Discuss why it bothered you. Offer solutions to possibly fixing it, and give that shit to God afterwards. Work on trying to fix it to the best of your ability, but ultimately give that shit to God. And what I mean by that is just don't assume that you can fix whatever your partner has going on. Don't ever assume that you are the answer. Do not assume that you always know what's bothering them, because again, if you come in and something's bothering them and you ask, hey, and they say nothing, it could be nothing. But this is more so for the ladies, because when us men, we had something bother us, most of us, not all of us, most of us will tend to tell you like, look, this shit getting on my nerves, this, that. We're more blunt. This is more so the women, especially more of the introverted ones that have trouble expressing their feelings. If you don't literally say what you need, I feel like, and again, I'm trying not to get off point here, but this is very important to me. I feel like when women, y'all have bottled up feelings and emotions, sometimes you will discuss the surface with your partner, but you're not discussing the deeper issues that have plagued your mind, that have bothered you. And again, keeping that inside is not helping. You're not discussing it with anyone else, then at least the one person you should feel comfortable saying these things to, if your partner, even if you feel like they may misunderstand you or mishear you, it doesn't matter. Say that shit. Get that shit. At least you get it off of your chest to where it's like, hey, at least I said it. I feel good about it. I may or may not like the answer that they gave in response to what I said, but I got it off my chest. Also, ladies, do not always assume your man is gonna understand a play, because women, y'all are very, very, very emotional creatures. Men, not saying we don't care, but we're quicker to not just give a fuck sometimes. Don't assume that your man always is gonna just get where you're coming from. It's estrogen, testosterone. Those are two different things, men, women. And I'm speaking strictly to, monogamous, regular, heterosexual people right now. If you're anything else, this video just may not be for you, but I'm talking to men and women that are in relationships. Fellas, this is for you. Don't be so quick to assume that your lady should get over whatever the problem is. Don't be so quick to brush off her feelings, because again, that will cause you resentment that she has for you in the long run, because she may or may not feel that she can come to you. So don't brush her feelings off. And when you offer solutions, and I'm talking to myself in a lot of this, if you offering solutions, leave it at that. Be point blank with it. Done. She may or may not accept those. She may. Who knows? But offer that. Leave it at that. So again, I'm gonna wrap this video up by saying, give whatever responsibilities that you may be assuming to God. And what I mean by that, if you feel like you have to overdo this, overdo that, if your partner does not feel comfortable accepting whatever responsibilities those are, ask your partner, is there a way that they can lighten the load in specifics? Like, be specific on what you need help with. Be specific as to what you're wanting. And I guess I'll leave my last point on be specific. And the same thing goes for fellas. Like, be specific. If you want your lady to cook more, if you want her to fuck you more, and I'm being real as I can be. Whatever you need in your relationship, don't be afraid to tell your partner. And if they're unable to commit to certain things, it's not the end of the world. It's really not. You just gotta find a way to, catch breaks in that area. But again, I go back to my point. It's not some stuff just ain't their job. Do they help you in certain ways? Yes. Appreciate the ways that you're receiving the help. If you did meet the person you with, would you still be doing this? Would you still be doing that? If you had met the person you with, would you still be doing this? Would you still be doing that? So look at the bonuses and the benefits, from having a partner versus always the negatives and the BS that's brought and what you're not getting. Because again, it could always be worse. People are quick to jump the fence, but grass is not always greener on the other side. That is very much true. Some people hop the fence because they want that solo time to themselves. That's also true. So, if you're in a relationship, you love your partner, find better ways to communicate. When you do communicate, be specific. Don't assume roles that you feel like are not yours to assume. Remember, it's optional, not your job to do certain things. If you ask for help, either person, if you ask for help, that individual has every right to help or not help with certain things. That don't mean they love you no less. I'm going to leave that at that. Hopefully somebody out there got something from this. I did, even in myself. I would probably use this as a reference at some point for something. But again, please like this video. Share it with somebody, comment, subscribe. If you're a couple, watch it together, show your partner. And again, be blessed, y'all. Give y'all problems to God, not to each other. And I'll catch y'all in the next video. Deuces.
Essence, born with less, but you still precious. Just smell foam in there.